By 2030, telling someone you work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week will sound as absurd as saying you work 6 days a week for 12 hours. And the shift isn't coming from some future government mandate, it's already happening right now at companies you've heard of. The 8-hour workday is dying. Here's what's replacing it. Look, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, right, my boss can barely let me leave on time now. I get it. But something fundamental is shifting in how we work, and it's not because companies suddenly became generous. It's because the old model is breaking, and the data is impossible to ignore. In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what's happening to the traditional workweek, why it's collapsing faster than most people realize, and most importantly, how you can position yourself to benefit from this shift instead of getting left behind. Because here's the thing, this change is inevitable. The only question is whether you're ready for it. Let's start with what's happening right now that most people don't notice. In 2022, a UK organization called 4-Day Week Global ran the world's largest trial of the 4-day workweek. 61 companies, over 2,900 workers, 6 months. And here's what nobody's talking about. 92% of those companies kept the 4-day week permanently. Not because they're nice, because revenues stayed the same or increased, while employee burnout dropped by half. But here's where it gets interesting. This isn't just some feel-good experiment. Major corporations are quietly adopting this. We're talking companies in finance, tech, marketing, industries known for grinding people into dust. Meanwhile, there's another shift happening in plain sight. AI tools have gotten scary good at the boring stuff. That email you spent 20 minutes crafting, AI writes it in 30 seconds. That data entry task that ate your Tuesday? Automated. That meeting that could have been an email? Well, now it's an AI summary of an email. Studies show that the average knowledge worker, anyone working on a computer, spends 60% of their time on tasks that AI could handle today. Not in 5 years. Today. So we've got companies realizing shorter weeks boost productivity, and AI eliminating the busy work that filled those extra hours. You see where this is going? But there's a third factor, and it's the most powerful. Workers are done. Burnout is at record levels. The WHO literally classified it as an occupational phenomenon. 77% of workers report experiencing burnout at their current job. Gen Z workers, your future workforce, 52% of them say they'd take a pay cut for better work-life balance. The old model is breaking from 3 directions at once. Okay, let me break this down simply. Here's what's coming over the next 5 years. First, the 4-day workweek goes mainstream. Not everywhere, not all at once, but major consultancies are predicting that by 2027, somewhere between 30 and 40% of companies will offer compressed workweeks, or what's called outcome-based work. That means you're not paid for sitting in a chair for 8 hours. You're paid for completing projects, hitting targets, delivering results. Think about what that means. Your entire relationship with work changes. It's not, I need to look busy from 9 to 5. It's, I need to deliver something by Friday. And if you finish on Tuesday, your week is done. Second, AI becomes your co-worker, not your replacement. And here's the nuance everyone misses. AI is really good at tasks, not jobs. It can write emails, analyze spreadsheets, schedule meetings, summarize reports. But it can't navigate office politics, understand human nuance, make ethical judgment calls, or lead teams through uncertainty. Gartner predicts that by 2027, 70% of knowledge workers will work alongside AI agents. You won't spend your day doing data entry anymore. You'll spend it making decisions based on the analysis AI already did for you. That's a fundamentally different type of work, and it takes less time. Third, and this is the wild part, we're seeing the rise of what researchers call polywork. Instead of one full-time job, people are doing 2 or 3 part-time things they actually care about. One might pay the bills, another might be a passion project, another might be entrepreneurial. This isn't just freelancing, it's a complete rethink of career structure. And it's only possible because companies are shifting to outcome-based work. Now, before you panic and think my industry will never do this, you might be right. Healthcare, manufacturing, retail, hospitality, these industries are going to adapt slower. But that's going to create a 2-tier workforce. The industries that adapt will attract top talent. The ones that don't will struggle to hire. And here's the timeline. We're already seeing early adoption now in 2026. By 2027, this will be common in white-collar work. By 2030, the 8-hour, 5-day week will be the exception, not the rule, at least for knowledge workers. Some governments are already ahead of this. Belgium, Iceland, Scotland, they've already passed laws giving workers the right to request shorter work weeks. It's coming. Alright, so why should you care? What does this actually mean for your life? First, your earning potential might actually go up. Here's why. If companies pay for output instead of time, the fastest, most efficient workers win. Learn to work with AI, cut your task time in half, and suddenly you can take on more projects, negotiate higher rates, or just work less and make the same money. Second, your mental health and relationships improve. Imagine getting Fridays back, or working 10 to 6 instead of 9 to 5 because you're not chained to arbitrary hours. The data from these 4-day week trials is clear. People sleep better, exercise more, spend more time with family, and report being significantly happier. Third, and this is big, you have time to build something on the side. That business idea you've been sitting on, that skill you wanted to learn, that creative project, you actually have margin in your life now. But here's the catch. If you're not in an industry that adapts, you're stuck in the old model while watching everyone else live differently. That's the risk. The gap between industries that embrace this and industries that don't is going to create a massive quality of life divide. This is your wake-up call. The future of work is splitting into two paths, and you need to decide which one you're on. Okay, so what do you actually do about this? Here are 5 moves you can make starting today. 1. Learn to work with AI, not against it. You don't need to become a programmer. You need to learn how to use ChatGPT, Claude, Notion AI, or whatever tools exist in your field to automate the boring stuff. Spend 1 hour this week learning one AI tool that could save you 5 hours next week. The people who master this early will dominate the outcome-based work model. 2. Start tracking your output, not your hours. For the next 2 weeks, don't measure your workday by how long you sat at your desk. Measure it by what you actually completed. You'll be shocked at how little of your 8 hours is productive work. Once you see this, you can start negotiating for flexibility. 3. Position yourself in forward-thinking industries or companies. If you're job hunting, ask in interviews about their stance on flexible work for day weeks or outcome-based performance. The companies experimenting with this now will be the ones thriving in 2027. The ones clinging to butts in seats management will be struggling to hire. 4. Build a skill or side project now while you still have some time. Even if you're exhausted, carve out 3 hours a week for something outside your main job. When the world shifts to outcome-based work and compressed weeks, you'll have more time, but you'll wish you'd started earlier. Plant the seed now. 5. Advocate for change where you are. Bring research to your manager. Show them the 4-day week global results. Companies adopted this not out of kindness, but because it made business sense. If you can make a case that your team could deliver the same results in less time, that's a pitch, not a complaint. The good news? You still have time. This shift is happening over the next 5 years, not overnight. But the people who prepare now, who learn AI tools, who build skills, who position themselves strategically, they're the ones who will thrive. The people who ignore this and assume their company will figure it out for them, they'll be the ones confused and left behind. Look, the 8-hour workday was invented in 1926. It was designed for factory workers in a completely different economy. We've been clinging to it for a century, and it's finally breaking. You can resist this shift and hope it doesn't affect you, or you can lean into it and build the life you actually want. The future is compressed work, AI collaboration, and outcome-based pay. It's coming whether you're ready or not. If this opened your eyes, hit subscribe. I'm breaking down future trends like this every week. And drop a comment. What industry are you in, and do you think the 4-day workweek could work for you? Let's talk about it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.